I think, for any teacher, being able to stand by a union is very important, especially when you're advocating, right? So I always like to bring the element of unionism back to students' lived experience. So for a union, one of the things we do is collective bargaining and be able to negotiate for equitable, just contracts, whether it's for pay, benefits. Students are learning advocating and they're learning negotiating, right, through curriculum. So being part of the union literally is a model example of advocating, being an activist in real time. I remember last year here in Lexington, we had a very contentious collective bargaining season where there was heavy negotiations for a new contract. And it was at one point teachers were actually standing outside the front of the school, for, a new contract. And kids would see us, and they'll wave or whatever. And then we'll go inside and kids would ask about it. And we tie that right back to what they're already learning about advocacy. And we tie that into we talk about advocacy, pollution, water pollution that's happening in the state of Massachusetts and around the country. So we started to talk about how those kids that you all are studying in your texts and how they advocate for justice, advocating for equitable rights. It's the same thing that we're doing when we're advocating for a collective bargaining agreement, that we're getting a fair, just agreement. So you're seeing teachers model for you what you're learning about in the textbooks, what you're learning about in the slides, what you are talking about amongst each other when you have conversations about, like, let's say water pollution, for example, advocacy. And this is something that you're empowering kids. And going back to the restorative piece, right? And, social justice. Part of that work is the action, right? When you're advocating, this is an action step. You're taking action to stand up for justice. You're standing up for righteousness. Kids are able to see that, and kids are able to also make connections between what their teacher's doing about in the classroom. So now, you can actually pinpoint a true example in real time. This is what we're doing.